Have you ever looked at a photo of yourself and like immediately zoomed in on all the things you think are flaws?
Oh, absolutely.
Mm.
Or maybe you've heard a friend say something like, ugh, I feel too ugly to go out today.
Exactly. Like that college student in our sources who actually missed class because she felt she just couldn't show her face. It's such an intense feeling, isn't it?
It really is. And debilitating sometimes.
So it makes you wonder, where does all this intense stuff about appearance actually come from?
Yeah.
And, what's the real cost?
That's the core question.
So today we're doing a deep dive into this idea called beauty sickness. We really want to unpack how our culture's, obsession with looks impacts women, starting way younger than you might think. It eats up time, energy, mental space.
Right. And for this deep dive, we've gathered insights from some really extensive research, personal interviews too, all compiled in a recent work. It gives a pretty comprehensive picture.
Okay.
Our goal here is basically to trace the roots of this beauty sickness and really understand just how deep its effects go.
So usually you think body image issues, you think teenagers, right? But what did the sources say about when this actually starts?
Yeah, that's the really striking part. It starts incredibly young. The seeds are planted way earlier.
How early?
Well, take this story of Lee. She's 7 years old,
Mm.
just 7. And she was asked about her, ideal woman.
Okay.
And she had this whole description ready. Long, straight hair, lots of makeup, high heels, and thin. Her arms and legs are thin.
Wow. At 7.
At 7.
Yeah.
She even said that for girls, you get more praise and stuff if you're pretty. She already had this detailed mental casting call.
That's unsettling. And I guess she's not alone in feeling that way so young.
Not at all. That's the scary part. It shows how deeply ingrained this is. The research points to 34% the third of 5-year-old girls deliberately restricting their food intake sometimes.
5 years old.
5. Barely learning to use cutlery and already worried about, taking up space. And between 5 and 9, 40% wish they were thinner. And crucially, it's not about health for them. They haven't grasped that yet. It's because they've already picked up the cultural message. Thin equals pretty.
It makes you think back, doesn't it? Your own childhood or seeing young kids now. These worries start so early, before school even really gets going.
Mm-hmm.
I actually remember being maybe 5 at Cypress Gardens in Florida. They had these women dressed as Southern belles just walking around.
Oh,
And I just accepted it.
Yeah.
Didn't question why women were paid just to look pretty or why there weren't, Southern beaux doing the same thing. It just was.
yeah. And, later when Lee, the 7-year-old, was asked what's more important, what your body does or if it's pretty, she immediately said, do things.
Okay, good.
But then asked if she'd always feel that way. She got quiet. Just said, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
That hesitation from a 7-year-old, it's powerful.
It really is. So this early stuff, this conditioning,
Yeah.
it leads somewhere, right? Into this culture of just constant evaluation.
Exactly.
Mhm.
It leads directly into what some call the I-object experience. This idea that women are constantly seen not as people, but as, objects to be looked at and judged.
Right.
And mainstream culture just hammers this home relentlessly. I mean, think about some examples from the research. The 2013 Oscars host singing We Saw Your Boobs,
Ugh, I remember that.
or Kate Middleton after having a baby. First, it's criticism about losing the weight. Then after the second baby, she looked too good, apparently. Can't win.
No winning there.
Or journalist Heidi Stevens getting emails from readers critiquing her hair, calling her a tramp. Even the New York Times ran a piece titled For Posterior's Sake, with a big photo focusing on a woman's backside.
It's everywhere. And it's not just media, right? The source material also brought up beauty pageants.
Yes, that's a great point. Why are they still mainstream entertainment despite everything else? It feeds into that objectification, seeing women primarily as things to be evaluated visually.
So what is objectification, really? That feeling of being seen as a thing?
It's exactly that. And Erin, an art student in the sources, had a really powerful story about it. She's an identical twin, but she was always called the big twin because her sister was slightly smaller. And she heard that as the fat twin or the ugly twin.
Oh, that's rough, especially for twins.
And it affected her physically very early. She hit puberty at 8, got breast buds, had to wear a bra. Then boys playing would deliberately fall on her in a certain way to touch her.
At 8, that's awful.
So she had to start monitoring her body constantly.
Yeah.
She and her sister even started wearing boys' clothes to try and hide, just so they could keep playing and living like kids.
Trying to become invisible.
Pretty much. Then, age 12, she gets catcalled. Terrifying. Her parents tried to explain, saying looking too sexy could be dangerous.
Which puts the burden on her.
Right. So she felt this constant scrutiny leaving the house. And she saw the options as basically crumble, comply, be angry, or pretend not to care. None felt great.
Just exhausting. And this isn't just anecdotal, right? The data shows a real gender gap here.
Oh, absolutely. The numbers are stark. Look at cosmetic procedures. 85 to 90% are performed on women.
Wow.
And a huge WHO study, like 42 countries, 15-year-old girls in every single country were more likely than boys to feel too fat. Didn't matter what they actually weighed.
Every country.
Every single one.
Yeah.
Women tend to see their bodies differently too, more fragmented.
Right.
Like a catalog of appearance complaints. This part's wrong, that part's wrong.
Yeah, I recognize that.
There was another study, Duke University. Men and women try on swimsuits in front of a mirror. The men mostly felt silly. The women, disgusted and angry.
That says a lot.
It does. The link between how women feel about themselves overall and how they feel about their bodies is just much, much stronger. Which brings us back to Lee, the 7-year-old.
Right.
When asked the meanest thing you could say to a girl, she knew instantly, you're fat and you're ugly.
Oof. So, okay, we have this external pressure, this constant judgment, but then it gets internalized, right? That's self-objectification.
Exactly. That's the next layer. You start doing the watching yourself.
Yeah.
Part of your brain is always monitoring how you look, even if there's no mirror around.
Like that ad campaign, runways are everywhere. Showing a model in a bikini in a laundromat.
Precisely. The message is, every moment is a performance. Every space is a stage. You're always potentially being looked at.
And that has real consequences, doesn't it? Mentally.
Huge consequences. It drains cognitive resources. Take Rebecca, the swimmer. She was fit, muscular, but told she was obese in health class.
Oh, no.
Yeah. It led to years of this constant calorie meter running in her head. All this mental energy just obsessively tracking food and exercise.
It sounds exhausting.
It is. Or Artemis, 17. She described her brain being split into two halves. One focused on her body, one on school. So she felt it was holding her back.
Wow.
And she said something really bleak. In the end, the fact that I'm not skinny ruins it all.
Gosh. And research actually confirms this cognitive drain.
Yes. Studies show that simply trying on a bathing suit can make women perform worse on math tests afterwards.
Seriously.
Seriously. And worse on things like the Stroop test. You know, that test where you have to name the color of the ink a word is printed in, not read the word itself.
Right. It measures focus and interference.
Exactly. It shows cognitive resources are literally being stripped away for body monitoring. And women who do this chronically report lower motivation, lower belief in their ability to achieve goals, lower self-efficacy.
And it's not just mental. Even clothes can limit you, right? You mentioned being told not to do somersaults.
Yeah. I was 7, wearing this purple dress I loved, and got told it wasn't ladylike, people might see things. So I just sat there, missed out on playing.
How many times does that happen?
All the time. Think about Jennifer Lopez in that green Versace dress at the Grammys. How could she possibly think about anything but whether she was still covered?
Good point. Or even, high school girls at a dance, constantly pulling down hems, pulling up strapless tops.
Totally. Can't even eat comfortably sometimes. There was even that Verizon ad, Inspire Her Mind, that kind of accidentally showed how putting girls in darling outfits often comes with warnings not to get dirty.
Which holds them back from exploring, from physical activity.
Right. It ties into practical things, too.
Right.
A colleague of the author once actually said women shouldn't wear cargo pants because they don't look good on women. Never mind the useful pockets.
Function follows form, or rather, form dictates function.
Exactly. And that focus on appearance directly limits physical activity, too. Remember the Run Like a Girl viral video? How running like a girl became this shorthand for basically incompetence. It treats girls like ornaments, not active beings.
Yeah.
And another study found girls who scored higher on self-objectification actually threw softballs worse. It's hard to perform well when you're worried about how you look doing it.
Okay, so there's the mental cost, the physical limitations, but there's a financial cost too, right? A literal price tag.
Oh, absolutely. There was this Dust Bowl empiricism study mentioned basically a big study looking at real-world data. It found that statements on personality tests about worrying about appearance were a really strong predictor of whether the respondent was male or female.
So it's baked into identity, almost, and costs actual money.
Huge amounts. On average, women spend about 3 times as much as men on beauty products and services.
3 times?
Yep. One writer for the Huffington Post, James Cave, tried an experiment pretending to be his girlfriend for a month, buying her usual stuff. He was just floored by the sheer volume of bathroom things.
I can imagine.
Mint.com estimated the average woman spends $15,000 on makeup alone in her lifetime.
$15,000.
Yeah. And the YWCA did a calculation, save just $100 a month that you might spend on beauty. In 5 years, that could cover a year's in-state tuition at a public college.
Wow. That puts it in perspective.
And the pressure's real. Nearly half of women say they feel unattractive or insecure if they don't wear makeup. The source says walking out the door without mascara might feel like walking out the door without wearing pants.
Amy Schumer did that great sketch, right? Girl, you don't need makeup.
Yes. Where the boy band sings that, she takes it off, and they immediately go, whoa, no, put it back on. Hilarious, but ouch.
It really hits home. And it's not just money, it's time, too.
So much time. Jess, an IT director in the source, noticed women at her tech startup would disappear to the bathroom for like 30 minutes around 3:30 p.m. every day.
Why that?
To redo their makeup before happy hour. Meanwhile, she noted, the men are doing work. It's a real productivity hit.
I remember my own mom putting on makeup while driving me to school. Mascara at stoplights, nail polish on the steering wheel.
It becomes so normal, so ingrained. And it's global, too.
Right, you mentioned South Korea earlier.
Yeah, Jamie's experience there. Highest rate of plastic surgery per capita in the world. Ads are everywhere. Double eyelid surgery is super common. Cheaper because demand is so high.
Intense.
And Jamie herself admitted she basically starved herself in college in the U.S., just trying to be thin.
Yeah.
It shows how widespread these pressures are.
Okay, so this is all sounding pretty bleak. Beauty sickness is pervasive, costly in so many ways. What can actually be done? Are there solutions that work?
That's the crucial question. And interestingly, some common approaches, even the well-meaning ones, don't always help. Sometimes they even backfire.
Like what?
We'll take the whole "You Are Beautiful" messaging. Think Dove's Real Beauty campaign. Sounds great, right?
Yeah, seems positive.
But studies show it can make some women feel worse because there's this gap between the message and how they actually feel inside. One woman put it really bluntly. Every time I think I like my body, I'm lying.
Ouch. So the compliment highlights the disconnect.
Exactly. And maybe more fundamentally, these messages still reinforce the idea that looks are super important. They keep the focus on appearance, which is kind of the root of the problem.
Okay, that makes sense. What about media literacy? Teaching people to critique ads and stuff.
Helpful, definitely good for awareness. But the research suggests its effects are often small and maybe too late. Women can look at a photoshopped image, know it's fake, call it sickeningly thin.
But still want to look like that.
Exactly. They can critique it intellectually, but still feel that pull, that I wish I looked like this feeling.
And what about how women talk to each other? All that, ugh, I feel so fat today talk.
Yeah, fat talk or negative body talk. Research says something like 90% of adult women do it. And the assumption is maybe it builds camaraderie. Misery loves company.
Right.
But it actually just makes everyone involved feel worse. And it's often completely unrelated to actual body size. So remember that scene in Mean Girls? All the thin girls complaining about tiny perceived flaws. And it's not just fat talk, it's old talk too, even among young women, reinforcing shame about aging. And the absolute worst approach, using shame as a motivator.
Trying to shame people into losing weight or changing.
Yes. It's disastrous. Shame is not a diet plan. It doesn't work. In fact, it's linked to more overeating, less exercise, plus eating disorders, depression, anxiety. It backfires completely. MK's story showed how shame just led her to binge.
So if those common things don't work or even make it worse, what does help?
The research really points towards shifting the focus, moving away from appearance and towards function. What can your body do?
Okay.
Like Amy's story. In high school, she cried after failing an obstacle course. Years later, she's doing Tough Mudders, hiking 94 miles on the Wonderland Trail for fun.
Wow, that's a transformation.
Huge. And she realized that when someone said she was cut, they meant muscle definition, not that she was injured. Her focus shifted entirely to feeling good, hitting milestones, like climbing the Grand Canyon.
That's almost a mile pretty much straight up, she said. It's about capability. That's really inspiring, focusing on what your body achieves, not just how it looks.
Exactly. And this is being applied to kids' stuff, too.
Okay.
Like Jody Norgard creating the sports girls dolls.
Oh, yeah. What are they?
Dolls with more realistic body shapes, designed around sports and activity, encouraging confidence through doing, not just looking sexy at a young age. It changes the narrative from the start.
That's smart, changing the toys.
And it applies to fitness, too. Colleen's study looked at fitness classes, Some used appearance-focused language, blast fat, bikini body. Others used function-focused language. These muscles are crucial. You're super strong.
And what happened?
The women in the function-focused classes felt motivated, strong, proud. The ones in the appearance-focused classes, they felt ashamed, sad, fat, weak. The language we use matters immensely.
It really shapes the experience, so these individual shifts, they can add up.
Absolutely. It starts with changing the conversation, even just with yourself and other women. You don't have to voice every negative body thought. You can gently challenge it when you hear it from others.
Yeah.
It's also about, voting with your wallet, supporting brands that portray women positively, choosing gifts for girls that aren't just about appearance.
Making conscious choices.
And then there's inner work. Self-compassion is huge. One exercise mentioned is writing letters to your body, but from the perspective of an imaginary, unconditionally loving friend.
Okay. How does that help?
Reminding yourself. Your body gets you through life. It's that one everlasting vehicle. Things like that. Studies show this significantly boosts body satisfaction and mood. It's about kindness.
Kindness instead of criticism makes sense.
Also, intuitive eating, listening to your body's actual hunger and fullness cues instead of rigid diets. And then there's a very practical exercise. Take a beauty inventory.
What does that involve?
Literally track the time and money you spend on appearance-related things for a week or a month. Then look at it and decide consciously if that's how you want to allocate those resources. It brings awareness.
Okay, so the big idea here is really about reclaiming all that energy, right? The mental
Yep.
space, the time, the money that beauty sickness consumes.
Exactly. Recognizing that our worth just isn't tied to how we look. It never was.
So the real goal.
The ultimate goal is to feel more, I guess, at home and comfortable in our bodies, to cultivate kindness and gratitude for them. And freeing up that energy lets us focus on things that genuinely matter more. Our character, our passions, relationships, how we contribute to the world, things beyond the surface.
That's a powerful thought to end on. So maybe for everyone listening, if you were to take that beauty inventory, just pause for a second right now. What's one habit, maybe a thought pattern or an actual practice related to appearance that you could choose to let go of? Knowing that letting it go might free up just a little bit of mental space or time or energy for something that truly brings you joy or helps you move towards a goal you care about, what could you achieve with that reclaimed space?